The Tailypo. Benjamin and his dog, Old John, were the best man and dog hunting team in this neck of the woods. Every morning they would head out bright and early, and be on the lookout for every critter from barn owls to bears. One day Benjamin heard Old John barking and growling up a storm down by the riverbed, and he ran down there to investigate. Old John had some animal cornered in a small cave. Benjamin raised his gun and shouted at Old John to move out of the way. As soon as the dog moved aside, the animal in the cave darted out with lightning-fast speed. But Benjamin still got a shot off. The shot severed the creature's tail, and it let out one hell of a scream. Benjamin fired again, but this time he missed, and the creature, whatever it was, ran off into the woods. Benjamin walked over and picked up the creature's long tail. "It'll make a fine stew," he said. That night Benjamin cut up the creature's tail and cooked it in a stew. Then he and Old John ate and went to bed. Sometime during the night, Benjamin heard something, like a scratching sound at the foot of his bed. "Damned mice," he said to himself. Suddenly he felt something jump up onto his bed with him. "Old John, now you know better than that." But it wasn't Old John. It was the strange creature that he had shot earlier that day. Slowly it crawled up onto Benjamin's stomach and stared at him with evil-looking eyes. It was then that the creature spoke.
"What have you done with my Tailypo?"
Terrified, Benjamin called for Old John, and in an instant the dog was in the room and chasing after the creature. The creature leaped up onto the windowsill and jumped out, with Old John following right behind him. Benjamin leaped out of bed and grabbed his gun. He pointed it out the window, but didn't fire in fear of hitting Old John. At dawn, Benjamin awoke near the window, realizing that he must have fallen asleep, waiting for Old John to return. He stood up and looked out the window. He whistled for Old John and then heard the door behind him creak open. But when he turned around, it wasn't Old John who was standing there. It was the strange creature once again. It stood there, staring at Benjamin. Blood stained its mouth and teeth, and it growled savagely at him. Benjamin looked for his gun, but saw it was against a corner just out of reach. He thought about jumping out the window, but just then the creature spoke.
"Give me back my Tailypo."
A few days later, Benjamin's daughter came to the house looking for him. She searched the entire house, and after a while she found her father in the bedroom. Or rather, what was left of him.